my juice machine. I'm about to move from the kitchen that we in and just take my juice machine to Hopkins. I only make very little juice, and that juice is easy enough to make, you know, in the cafe we have. So, and then other than that, like I only juice once a quarter. So if it's every season, for like the juice cleanses. So if it's like a whole lot of orders, then I can always go back to the kitchen. It's right down the street. But there's no point in paying for it consistently if I'm not using it consistently. So that's what I did. I had to do juice prep. My mom came and helped me for a little bit. And then we opened up on Saturday. It was real chill because it's going into spring break, so it's not a lot of people or whatever. Yeah, so I'm on the way to the restaurant store to pick up some supplies and inventory and stuff like that. And the great thing is, like, it's close. It's a couple of them. It's one on each side of town. It's convenient for the most part. Like all the restaurants, like I see all the restaurant owners from cafes to, you know, diners, carryouts, high-end restaurants. Like everybody goes to the restaurant store to get supplies and stuff like that. I didn't know. I just learned about the restaurant store when I first started doing Good Parting Company at my house, like at my apartment. So I was like trying to, you know, buy straws and stuff like that when I was doing the juice pop-ups at my house. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not buying this stuff off of Amazon because the prices, even Amazon prices, was better than buying it retail, like from Target. But I just got to be better. And I believe it was my man got a restaurant. And I think he was like, yo, you can just go to the restaurant store, because I was trying to get like cup holders. I had all the fly stuff you're supposed to have, but just inside my apartment, because I wanted to have a certain type of presentation, and I wanted the people to know I was for real about how I was going to serve and offer, you know, the juices and stuff that we were doing for the pop-up. I lived closer to the one on the other side of town. So I went out there, and I was like, do you need a membership? And he was like, nah, anybody can shop there. So most people don't know that. Like when you got cookouts and stuff like that, or you got a big family, and you know you're going to need like bottles for ketchup for the family reunion and stuff like that, you don't have to buy those things from Target, because you're gonna pay like almost double the price. You can just go to the restaurant store. So people ask me now, like, yo, just go buy the napkins from the restaurant store. So it's a great resource, whether you're doing commercial business or you just need to buy a lot of stuff for home and for your family and things like that. So that's some of the things you learn in business. Like you gotta learn how to source things, especially in retail business, specifically in food and beverage, because one thing is for sure, people always want to eat. So that means supplies is always going to go, and you got to get them. You know, you want to improve your profit, so you got to get them at the best price. You know, the less you can pay for it, the more you can make from it. So having resources like the restaurant store, online it's called the Webstaurant store. They sell the same things, but the restaurant store is real life. You can walk up to it, you can drive up to it or whatever and pick up your items. So one thing you do need to figure out is like how to run your inventory, so you can actually go there. You don't have to go there as often. Like sometimes when I first started out, I would have to go like 2, maybe 3 times a week, because I was always forgetting to buy something. And that's not a good way to run your business. For one, it's just stressful because you gotta keep driving around in the middle of the day and you're running out of stuff. But once you get your inventory system down and you start to teach people, teach your employees, teach your staff how to count inventory and stuff like that, or me just doing inventory myself when I have to, it gets a lot easier. It's a lot more manageable. So hopefully, you know, it starts to cut down on how hard you got to work on keeping your supplies up. I wish they deliver all of the items that need to get shipped, but they don't deliver from the store to the place. So you got to come over here and pick it up. So I just come over here a couple times a week or once a week for the most part. I'm trying to get it down to where I only got to go once a month, which typically means you're going to be spending a lot more money up front, but it's going to save you on time and money if you buy in high enough quantities and stuff like that. So that's my ultimate goal, right? To just get it down to like only having to buy once a month. The one thing about that though, because my cafe is small now, I don't have my original cafe, I don't have a whole lot of space to really store all of these items if I was to buy enough stock for a whole month. I do have an off-site inventory that's closer to the cafe, so I need to reorganize it this weekend. Me and my team gonna go down there and reorganize it, and hopefully we can get it to where we create some more space in there that we can start really stocking stuff up. Because one thing I learned just in life, like they say, nature abhors a vacuum. So if you make space, it's gonna get filled, right? That applies to everything in life. If you make space for it, you can fill it. And most of the time, you can't fill your life with better things. You can't make space. You have to make space for improvement, is what I'm trying to say. So you gotta declutter things, reorganize things, go create space. You know, that's why people upgrade to like warehouses and And a lot of like McDonald's, they own the real estate and the land that they own. They need to own the space. You just make more profit, and then you just actually got space to do what it is you want to do. So a lot of times people have a real estate play behind their restaurants where they just buy the whole building, and then they can either rent out the upstairs for other things, or they can grow out their businesses. A lot of times you hear about nowadays content creators that's like big time, they just buy whole buildings and warehouses so they can have like multiple studios or spaces where they can do specific kinds of content, right? They got one big office where they do like all of the editing, and then they got another side of the room where they do the actual video shots, like things like that. You gotta have space, you know what I'm saying, to get work done. So that's one thing that I learned, and I'm trying to get to the point where I can just like start creating and buying more space. Ultimately, it's going to lead us to like our next retail location, which I'm going to make it more like a flagship store, right? So it'll be Good Part and Company, it'll be the cafe. Hopefully it can be a space where we can create the content around Good Part University, where we share and talk a lot more around like plant-based living, plant-based lifestyle, but also have like a production kitchen so we can create more juice, you know, and also have our own storage and just have it all in one space, because it's way more convenient. You can see the inventory, you can count the inventory. You don't have to worry about going all over the place to get it, to count it, to source it, and all that stuff. So you need to have space. You need to have space in your mind so you can think about what you need to do, and then you have actual space to go execute and do the things that you got to do. The rest of the stuff we can just pick up. And then we're at the restaurant store picking up supplies. We're on spring break right now, so I don't have to rush around to get these things. I just order it ahead, pull up to pick up my order in the truck, get it back up to the shop, and get ready for next week.